Today, we got a really special video for you guys that have been requested hundreds of times. We're going to list and break down the best and the worst crypto exchanges. Where do you buy your crypto? Let me know down below if yours doesn't make this list. It's actually going to be a list video, but I'm going to go deep on why. So you're going to want to watch each one, not just where I place them, but why I place them to decide if this is the right crypto exchange for you. There's so many features, so many directions, and so many different exchanges we're going to cover. Now, if I don't cover your exchange here, I already plan to do a part 2 to this because there's some more advanced offshore exchanges. Some of them you have to have more crypto, more capital. These are the best ones for a lot of people getting started, whether it's privacy or just to dip your pinky toe in the crypto world today. In Operation Crypto Exchanges. Hey, look at me. I got a list. You can see the logos of the exchanges. We're going to be doing 12 exchanges. Let's just jump right in because I think you're ready. So first one's going to be BitMEX. Now, this is peer-to-peer, and this is one that a lot of people like. They settled about $100 million lawsuit from 2014 to 2020. Imagine if they were operating illegally in the United States. Pretty much everyone is considered operating illegally in the United States at this point when it comes to the crypto because we operate 50 Shades of Grey. Not the movie, worst reference possible, but we operate in the gray area, the gray man, the gray woman. Now, BitMEX, a lot of people don't like it because the whole Bitcoin thing when you cash out, but if you're going peer-to-peer and you're staying in coins and you're looking at the tax ramifications of going back to cash, a lot of people like BitMEX. I've used every exchange on this list, I will say that, so I'm talking from personal experience, both myself, my clients at PrivacyX, and also friends and acquaintances I know who've used it. So I've talked to a lot of people about these exchanges. Now, where would I rank this? S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, or F tier? Well, personally, because peer-to-peer, I like the Bitcoin thing. I like the structure. I think if you're, maybe if you're just getting going, it might not be the exchange for you. But I think BitMEX, let's go ahead and put them in the C position to start. Yeah, let's start with them in the C position. I don't know if they're going to stay there, but let's do the C. Next is getting to KuCoin, a fan favorite KuCoin. So here's the thing, low fees, typically not for new traders. A lot of new traders, it might not be your best option, KuCoin. No KYC, so it is a really good option. If you look at how a exchange should be made, I think KuCoin, let's see. Trying to decide, should KuCoin be A tier or should it be S tier? S tier is tough because some of these coins and these exchanges and these companies in Web 3.0 are getting handicapped by the laws. A lot of people in the US hold cryptos and utilize KuCoin. You're not supposed to use it in the US, but see how a lot of, how we structure our clients at PrivacyX is to hold your property, your cryptos, your property offshore. We build the corporate structure that I show you guys how to build. And so your property's offshore. So KuCoin is a great example of a good option for crypto. And I'm going to say S tier. I mean, tell me what you think down below. But I think KuCoin is an S tier. If you look at the structure, if you look at the fee structure, if you're brand new, it might not be for you. They have a good selection of coins. It's an easy to use platform, in my opinion, although I've been in crypto for a long, long time. So maybe if you're brand new, it could be a little bit different. But I think we're going our first S tier. So I think we got BitMEX in C. We'll see how that plays out. We got KuCoin in S. That's our supersonic. Now, Crypto.com. You know about Crypto.com. I got a Crypto.com card, so I staked some crypto. I got the red card. It's not the fanciest one. I know they have other, but I'm not a big rewards card kind of guy, even though I live in Vegas and it's all rewards. It's all status. I mean, everything around here is status. I walk in, play poker, sit at the big table, up on the ledge, high roller, high money, high dollar, high status. Well, I did the red card. So I think Crypto.com's card is actually pretty good. I recommend everyone get it. I think for an entry-level exchange, it might be one of the best. Hong Kong, but basically Americanized. It's one of those companies that might as well be an American company, even if it's not. And of course, you've seen the naming rights that crypto.com recently had. So they're kind of going mainstream, which is a little bit scary whenever they go mainstream. And they are 100% compliant. So you will have no privacy. So unlike KuCoin, which is an S tier, which you can structure it to where you have a lot of privacy, crypto.com, you're going to have little to no privacy. But I would say for crypto, you're going to use what crypto.com shines is they make crypto you're going to use easy. I'm going to say B tier. I actually have I don't know why I like crypto.com, but I just do. I like their app. I like the pro. They've got crypto.com, so if you're using the app and the way you structure it, I just like the tools. I like the features. I feel like if you're trading crypto, if you're moving crypto, I wouldn't store it there long term. Also, ease of use. Also, if being compliant is really important to you, they're about as compliant as you're going to get with maybe one other exception. So I'm going to say B tier. I think even though it's kind of tough for a privacy advocate like myself to say something like crypto.com B tier, I feel like there's a lot of value with crypto.com, and I don't keep coins. So if you use them properly, yeah, we're going to go B. We're going to go B. It's definitely no S tier, but I think it's going to be a step up. We're going to go B. Local cryptos. This is one that a lot of people overlook. So local cryptos actually being able, if you look at the fee structure, you look at how things work on like crypto.com. Crypto.com's fee structure could be a little a little tough for some people to figure out. Local cryptos, peer-to-peer, kind of what crypto was supposed to be. Dare I say Craigslist cryptos? Not quite, but I think you should take a look at local cryptos, working with people directly. Obviously, when you're doing this, look into escrow options and other options of how everything shakes out. But I think local cryptos and working with people directly is kind of how some of this was meant to be done. I think it's worth you checking out. So local cryptos, I mean, it's not mind-blowing to me. It's not like, I think it's middle of the road. I think I'm going to go C tier again. I don't think, I'm not blown away by the site. I'm not blown away by the structure, but I think more sites like that need to come up with more features. I think local cryptos to me would be a C tier. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to give them. However, local Monero. Now, I'm a huge advocate of Monero. I've done several videos on this channel about Monero, and I recommend you watch them, how Monero works, how you can use Monero to be anonymous. When you're looking at ghost debit cards and credit cards and bank accounts and all these things, Monero plays a pivotal role. Monero is basically what Bitcoin should have been, but Bitcoin was early and the technology didn't exist. Bitcoin's obviously not a privacy coin. Monero is. Monero's been attacked a lot, but local Monero straight up is an A. I'm going to give it an A just because it's dealing with Monero. If you haven't checked out local Monero, even if you don't use it, I recommend you check it out. I talk about local Monero all the time, and I've rarely come across people who actually use it, which is kind of weird. I think you should check it out. But local Monero, I'm going to throw right at the A category just because it's Monero. And I wish there was more privacy coins. You got the pirate chain. You've got, people on the secret network trying to do some privacy stuff. You've got, obviously, the Monero stuff. We've had other privacy developers like in Zcash, but they did a full about face when the FBI started going after privacy coins. So I think local Monero I'm going to have to put in the A category. Gemini, Winklevoss 1, Winklevoss 2. Here a Winklevoss, there a Winklevoss, everywhere a Winklevoss. So Gemini, Gemini has been an industry leader in trying to get the government to regulate crypto, which is laughable. But I'm not a fan of Gemini, not just because I don't like those two individuals, but also just because I don't think it's a well put together exchange. But I have to be fair. You got to be fair. You got to base on what it is. Fees are, selection is decent. Fees are average. Everything about it is just kind of average. It's not a platform I use anymore. I have used it. It's definitely not the worst. There are several that didn't even make this list because they're so bad they're not even worth putting on this list. Gemini does have a following, unlike some of these other ones that are just kind of Me Too and copycat exchanges. I think if I'm being fair, Gemini's probably a D at best. I don't like their stance. I don't like the company stance. I don't like how they're trying to push out a lot of altcoins. They're basically trying to artificially inflate Bitcoin. They're just kind of playing games like they always have. So to me, Gemini is a D. They're not an F because they do have a solid foundation. They do have a solid structure. And, in all fairness, they are fairly secure. I mean, they don't have the best privacy features. They don't have the best security features, but they don't have the worst. So I think a D is fair for Gemini, and that's really all I got to say about that. Do I recommend Gemini? No, it's probably the first exchange on this list that I actually recommend you probably don't use, but it's ultimately up to you. You do whatever you want to do. But if somebody asks me, should I use Gemini? My answer is going to be no. Now they've been around for a long time, and that's why they have a user base, but it's kind of like a VCR. They've been around for a long time too, but you don't use them because technology's gotten better. So Gemini is just not for me. Binance is unfortunate because, of course, so they have some stuff you can do in the United States, but obviously a lot of Binance is going to be not usable technically, officially, if your property is in the United States. Now, this is going to come into play, and it's going to be very interesting with the global network of crypto and where things are going in the metaverse. If you're using Binance offshore, I would say Binance is probably a solid B for Binance. I think a B, the U.S. version is, I'm not even going to rate that. There's some laws. Obviously, New York is pretty strict on crypto. New York has banned a lot of things. New York has banned, actually, one of the next exchanges we're going to talk about, they recently just banned as well. A lot of tax issues, both with New York and these exchanges. So Binance, I think Binance has a lot of good features. Binance is a staple. I think Binance has kind of been held back because they're also trying to make Binance illegal in a lot of other places. They've talked about Europe. They've talked about Australia. And then obviously with the crypto bans in places like China and India, it makes it a little bit difficult. So Binance, we'll see where they go. But I think a solid B. Binance is kind of a staple. Binance Coin itself has done really good. Should it be an A? Should Binance be an A? I think if we're being fair, it's definitely not an S. Binance is definitely not an S tier. But I think if we're being fair, should it be an A? I think we're going to move Binance to an A. I feel like they've been around long enough, they've done enough, and they've got a big enough backing that if we don't put them in an A, that's kind of not. So I think Binance, they're not KuCoin. I would pick KuCoin over Binance, but they're good. The next one is BISQ, B-I-S-Q. Oh, peer-to-peer decentralized. This is what networks, you look at what's happening in the crypto space, and it's kind of alarming, and it's kind of unfortunate. This is exactly what every exchange should be. Now, the fees are a little high, but the fee structures on most exchanges and how you're, the cost of doing business on crypto, a lot of people are always talking about gas fees, obviously Ethereum, you're looking at all these different, but quality matters, peer-to-peer matters, and decentralized matters. There's no question. This is an S tier, period. It's not even up for debate. This is an S tier. This is a fan favorite. This is a crypto trader's favorite. This is what it should be, period. So I don't even know what else we need to say. I mean, it's decentralized, no KYC. It is exactly what exchanges should be. It can only get better from there. Depending upon how you structure it, depending upon how you use it, whether or not you use it is up to you. But this is an S tier through and through, no matter what. BitREX, not to be confused with BitMEX. This is BitREX with an R. Now, they recently had some stuff going on with New York that they were banned. They've also had some lawsuits. They've also had some people raise tax concerns. I've used it. Now, I've used it a while ago. Wasn't super pleased. It's good. You look at coin selection. Whenever you're looking at these exchanges, you're looking at privacy, security. Does it have privacy or security? Does it have things where you can secure your coins? Does it try to take some of your data and information, or is it completely peer-to-peer? Is it decentralized? Like, how is it structured? BitREX is okay. It's not mind-blowing to me. I think I'm just going to throw it right in the C tier. I think it's the middle of the road. I wasn't blown away. Maybe you had a different experience, but for me, I think it was very, very average. Kraken. Kraken's been around for a long time. Two-factor. What's that? Well, Kraken doesn't know. They're not for beginners. The site could be kind of slow at times. It's just not a very good exchange. The coins are okay. The fees are okay. It's just blah. it's not. You're not gonna use Kraken and be like, oh, this is Kraken, this is popping, this is what's up. You're gonna use it and be like, okay, cool. What else is available? I'm not a fan of Kraken, to be honest with you. They've never impressed me. They've always just kind of been there, but they've never. There's nothing innovative. There's nothing new. There's nothing exciting. I'm not a fan of their privacy or security terms, lack thereof. I'm not a fan of the way they structure their business. I think Kraken. Let's be honest. I think Kraken sucks. Kraken's an F. I don't like Kraken at all. It is an absolute F tier and F Kraken. Now, we are going to talk about Coinbase. What do you say about Coinbase? Coinbase is another one that has a card. You can get their card, to use crypto. A lot of people use the debit card. I actually have a debit card for Coinbase as well. I've got a handful of crypto cards because I use crypto for things because I feel like the banking system is not going in a positive direction. So you got to keep your money outside of the dollar. Coinbase is a simple way to do that with money you plan to use. Obviously, again, not long-term storage. Long-term storage should always be on cold wallets, hardware wallets, or cold wallets, etc. But Coinbase, I think, again, you're giving up privacy as far as, it's definitely regulated. Obviously, everyone knows that. Coinbase is probably one of the best options to dip your toe in. Now, don't use pointless apps like Robinhood. That you won't find that on this list. That is trash. It is the worst app for stock trading. It is the worst app for crypto. I'm not going to talk about pointless trash apps. If you're going to start in crypto, the one place you want to go is probably Coinbase. Now, you're going to say, Cody, listen, if you structure what I tell you to structure and build it how we do it for our clients at Privacy X, you won't have these problems because you will have it in a corporate structure. So you won't have the privacy leaks like some people have. But even if you do it in your name, let's just say you don't do that and you do it in your name. Frankly, I think crypto, if you're looking at getting started, Coinbase is a good option. Should you, I still have a Coinbase. I mess with Coinbase all the time. Do I store stuff there? No. Do I keep the stuff there long term? No. Do I use that for my main on-ramp? No, not anymore. I did back in the day, a long time ago, long time ago. I think I'm going to give Coinbase a B. I think that's the best I could give them. Privacy and security, Coinbase earned a lot of respect from me when they actually had a leak, a hack. Now, there's 3 other exchanges on this list that have had hacks, and they've basically done nothing to help the people who got hacked, who lost a bunch of crypto. Coinbase lost a mountain of crypto and actually made it right with all of their customers. Like, I will say, as much as there's some things on Coinbase that I don't respect, Coinbase has earned my respect a few times. They've done a few stand-up moves for a company that big. Big companies typically say F you to the customers because they don't care because they're too big. I'm going to give Coinbase a B. I feel like I have to because I feel like they've done a lot. I'm teetering on an A. I'll be honest with you. Even though I'm a privacy advocate, even though I'm somebody who believes in going ghost, even though I'm somebody who believes in going off grid, if I was going to go on grid, Coinbase, well, they're not a perfect company. I don't want to overhype them. They're actually not a terrible company like a lot of big companies and big banks. So I hope they keep their ethos. I hope they keep their standards. I'm going to give Coinbase a solid B. eToro. Okay, so high fees on withdrawals. Now, a lot of people complain about withdrawal fees on some exchanges, notably Crypto.com, depending upon, they've got a sliding scale and they've got some weird stuff going on. So you got to be careful depending upon where you're, how you're positioning yourself, if you're doing long-term and short-term, depending upon what you're trying to do. And this is why when I work with my clients, I talk to them about kind of their overarching structure, because the fact is some crypto is better left untouched for long term, because if you look at capital gains, you look at long-term finance, you look at how you can structure this stuff, some of these exchanges are great for that. It'll actually lower, it's almost like a built-in measure to lower your tax burden based on long-term capital gains. Well, eToro, not so much because of the fees and the withdrawal fees. eToro is another one that it's not as bad as Kraken. To me, it's about as good as Gemini, maybe a little better. I think it's a little better than Gemini. Oh, I'll probably give eToro a C. I think I'm going to give them a C. Let me look at this list. Let me see what we got here. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with my list. What do you guys think? Let me know down below if you agree with my list. Let me know why you do or don't use some of these cryptos. I think we put together a pretty solid first list. I am going to be putting together a more advanced list on some offshore exchanges that we do use that are a little bit more off-grid, but this is a great way if you're beginner or intermediate. These should all be exchanges you're using, and some advanced too. I mean, things like KuCoin. I know a lot of traders that are trading in the tens of millions of dollars that use things like KuCoin, Local Monero, even Coinbase and Crypto.com, BitMEX for sure, Binance for sure. So some of these are definitely used on a lot of really big traders as well. Keep that in mind, depending upon how you're structuring your finances and depending upon what's important to you. Appreciate you guys checking out this video. Make sure you go all in everything you do. Go all in to this next year. Lots going to be happening. Lots going to be changing. Keep your eyes open. Stay awake with what's going on around you. Appreciate you guys checking out this video. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.